Well, I am back. This is your Ajim, Chaverim, and Mishpacha, Carlos Cesar Gomez. What does Ajim means? It means brother, Chaverim means friend, and Mishpacha means family. Okay? I'm coming to you on this, Wednesday, April 26, 2017 at 23:17 hours. Yeah, I went and took care of my mother. I helped her, how can I say here? Well, I'm going to say I helped her with her hygiene and to keep herself clean. And then after that, I read her the scriptures. I read her Exodus, Shemot, chapter 31 in the Hebrew Interlinear Bible. I was reading to her in English and Hebrew, but she didn't like it. It was taking too long, so I read English and I translated some words in Hebrew so she could learn some Hebrew. We were part of a Messianic synagogue. Some of you may say, well, you're not real Jews. Okay, whatever. You got your spirituality and I have mine, okay? I mean, you should be happy that we are Sabbath keepers. We are Sabbath keepers. We believe in the Sabbath. The Messianics believe in the Sabbath. There's some that don't mention Christianity, period. And some do. So everybody has their own spirituality. I would rather be 100% Messianic. But there's people that are transitioning from one congregation to the next because the thing is where they're at, people don't appreciate them anymore. Or it's because they don't give too much of this, they don't have nice clothes, they don't look too attractive. No. So when one feels that they're not appreciated in the congregation, they move to another one. They visit another one, they see, oh, that's not bad. Not bad. The rabbi, he teaches a little Christianity, a bit of the Messianic faith. Okay, fine. That's what he believes. Okay, fine. Okay, that's what he believes. Okay, not all rabbis are the same. Don't expect rabbis to please you. They're not perfect. Okay, there's even rabbis in traditional Judaism that used to be Catholics. They were former Catholics, so they were Christian. Okay, so they got to be down to earth and understanding. I'm not a rabbi, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a Kohen, I'm not a priest, I'm not a minister. I'm just someone that wants to share the scriptures with you. And I'm down to earth, okay? Certain times I may sound a little harsh, and I'm going to do my best not to, okay? Not to sound harsh, okay? Because I was in another social media, and I wasn't welcome, and because their social media wasn't working, I told them, look, you need to work on your social media because it's not working. All your apps aren't up to date. I'm trying to find the buttons I could update the app. It's not there anymore. That means it's not working. You need to replace it. Oh, they got mad. They got angry with me. My goodness. They don't even want my videos out there anymore. I mean, they don't want my videos out there. So I'm moving on somewhere else. I'm not saying that all applications need to be perfect, but if you have an application out there in the Google store and there's something wrong with it, then obviously you might want to update your social media. Tell people, look, we're working on it so we could make it a little bit better. Don't just leave them hanging. It's terrible. I tried every social media I could think of this social media. I don't want to mention any names. I don't want to embarrass nobody. But you can't just tell people, well, I don't want you here doing this and doing that. But they're trying to tell you that your social media needs to be updated. That's all. My goodness, if I had a social media, you think I'm going to get nasty with people? Say, you're no longer going to be here. You're no longer going to be here. No. I'm going to try to work it out. Try to work out what I created with other people so the social media could work. Okay? Don't you want, they should know that when you come up with a project that's progressive and productive and all of a sudden it's not working for you, you got to find help. I know when I was in leadership, When I was in leadership, I was what was I? I was a youth treasurer, assistant treasurer for a year. They didn't even notice that I existed in this congregation that I was in. They treated me like a common criminal. My goodness. Then the second time around, the following year, I became the treasurer for 3.5 years. I ain't let nobody, pull a fast one on me. I wasn't about that. I wasn't going to give money up to people that I didn't know, and to people that were abusing and bouncing their weight around, their power and their weight around. I mean, when your higher power gives you a project to do, don't bounce your weight around. I was assistant treasurer for a year. The assistant youth treasurer for a year. It was back in the 90s. Back in the 90s. I'm not a youth now, not anymore. But when I was assistant youth treasurer, it was 1 year. Then it was 3.5 years as youth treasurer. Then it was 2.5 years as president. This was in a religious nonprofit organization. There was some good days and some bad days. There were some days that I was told to step down, so I did. I stepped down and I moved on with my life. Well, they didn't want me in the congregation because I didn't have a lot of this, a lot of nice clothes, and I wasn't into the style. So then I went and I got into the style, and they didn't find nothing good with me. So, well, when I processed my hair a little. I had some long sideburns. I didn't want to get rid of my sideburns. I didn't want to get rid of my mustache. And then they were never happy, so I got to stepping. I left. I left about 7 congregations. My goodness. I don't know what it is with ministers. They just don't like people. I mean, aren't they supposed to love like Yeshua loved, like the Messiah, the Savior loved? I mean, you got like John Lennon. I think it was John Lennon and his wife Yoko Ono. They sang the song, "All you got to do is love." For crying out loud, why can't you just love? Any minister that does not love their people, does not love their leaders, does not love anything about nobody, they should step down. Crying out loud. There was one minister that he was screaming to the top of his lungs since he started at the age of 33. He's 83 now. He's been a pastor for 50 years. All he does is yells and scold his people and treat them badly, calls them all kinds of derogatory names. Why do I know? Because I was in his congregation. I said, my goodness, you're a miserable man. You don't love nobody. You don't even love yourself. You need to stop yelling at people and call them derogatory names, for crying out loud. And then he called me the N-word. So what you talking about, fool? You ain't white. You're just as dark as I am. You need to chill. Chill, my man. I said, don't call me your man. I said, well, what you want me to call you? You stop mistreating people. I've been out of his congregation for, 95, 2005, 2015, 16, 17. I've been out of his congregation for 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. Let me see, 95, 2005, 2000. Actually, 22 years, for crying out loud. Sorry. Lost calculation of numbers. And the guy just still keeps on scolding people. One day he's like, I can't talk. What happened? I gotta yell at you. I gotta scold you. He couldn't talk anymore. He lost his voice. I'm not proud of what happened to him. But I was saying, I guess this guy, I guess Elohim got tired of him yelling at his people. Around yelling at them, scolding them, calling them all kinds of derogatory names. I mean, oh my goodness, this guy was terrible. He lost his voice. One of the members that didn't know any better, because they used to the abuse of this man. He's already 83. He's abusive. He's very abusive, and he yelled at people. He yelled to the top of his lungs. He couldn't yell no more. He lost his voice. So I don't know if he got his voice back. He's scolding the people again. about saying, why should I pray? They were saying, I don't need you to pray for the pastor. He could go back to being himself. I said, why? Why? I told my mother, why would I want to pray for a nasty old man that doesn't love his congregation? One day I told him, why you yell at us so much? Because you're clumsy, stupid people that don't know any better, have to yell at you all the time. I said, no, you don't. I'm going home. I got up and I left. I went home. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't have time to hear that. And he lost his voice. And the guy said, can you have your son pray for the pastor? I told him, well, I'm not praying for that man to have his voice back. He's going to keep on yelling at people. Every time the man asks for forgiveness, he goes back to his old ways again. He reverts back to his old ways. He doesn't mean what he says when he asks for forgiveness. I think he needs to retire. A pastor's been a pastor since he's 33, and I would say 33, 43, 53, 63, 64, 65. After 32 years, they should retire. After a pastor is 65 years old, they don't want to, they don't want to love the congregation. They need to retire. You know what I'm saying? The man is already old, and he doesn't want to change. And he's still scolding people and calling them derogatory names. Needs to retire. And the next video, I'm going to talk about righteousness. Okay, Yeshua is your righteousness. The next video. Okay, so I'm sorry to talk like that. So, is anybody out there that's having problems with their minister? You pray for them. Say, hey, can I talk to you in your office? Don't go beat them up and knock them out. Okay. You go and you say, well, I want to talk to you in your office. You said something to me I didn't like, to the whole congregation. I've been here a long time with you. And don't be afraid. Just say, I want to have a nice meeting with you. I want to meet with you, with the elders, and I want to bring a couple of witnesses with me. I mean, the elders know some witnesses with me that'll vouch for me. So if you decide to do something, you probably tell me to do something against my will. This is just knowledge, wisdom, and motivational videos, motivating you. That if your minister embarrasses you in front of everybody or says something derogatory to you, instead of just going, I'm leaving, I'm not coming back, which I did. And I still came back. When I wasn't appreciated, I left again. I mean, the guy, you couldn't even talk to him. You couldn't even talk to him. If you have a minister that you can actually talk to them, him or her, and they're down to earth, you could talk to them and say, I want to talk to you in a meeting. And if you want to bring the elders with you, fine. Could I bring a couple of people with me? And, just make sure that you're on higher grounds, on safe grounds. So when you talk to the minister, whether it's a male or female minister, you know what I'm saying, what you call it, that you can talk to them, all right? Say, this is what I believe you should do. What's that? Since you don't want to change, you should retire. I mean, you can get yourself kicked out of the congregation, or if they have some kind of suggestion box, you just put something in there and say, so and so. You keep on doing this. You ask for forgiveness. You keep on reverting back to saying, we ask for forgiveness. You revert, forgiveness, and revert. So I suggest that you take a sabbatical off, maybe a good 6 months to possibly a year off. Take a sabbatical off. This is what I suggest that you ministers do. If you can't change your ways with the congregation, I'm not saying to make it a chippy-choppy, wishy-washy congregation or a sugar-coated congregation. If the load is too much for you and you don't have a co-pastor, I suggest you get a co-pastor, and then you go with paid expenses from your congregation, and you go on a sabbatical, maybe 3 months or maybe 6 months or maybe 9 months or possibly a year to get away from it all. And maybe you might want to go to some kind of seminar or lecture or a training to get you back up on your feet. And if you can't, then you might as well just come back and just